Hello, hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A pleasure to have you here with us at the Marrakech Film Festival. Maybe you could give an intro to your film, City of Wind. Can you tell us a bit about the story and what people can expect from the film?
Yes, City of Wind is a coming-of-age story. It's about a 17-year-old shaman who falls in love with a girl who comes to his spirit for help. And it's really about Mongolian youth and my attempt at documenting, today's Ulaanbaatar. It's about a very specific time in Mongolia's history. It's the contemporary, and it's also a very specific place. That is Ulaanbaatar city. It's a rapidly changing city, and I know that in 20 years it's not going to be the same, and in 20 years young people aren't going to be the same as well, and so it's a way of grabbing a very special moment.
And how did the project start? What sparked the idea for you?
Yeah, I was taken to a shaman by my mother, and I didn't get to see him because I was late to the ceremony, and after the ceremony I was waiting for my mom to come out, and this young man comes and sits next to me, and he's this super cool guy with tattoos on both arms, and I was thinking, man, I didn't see this kid at the ceremony, and then I found out afterwards that he's actually the shaman that I was speaking to. And again, in the ceremony, I'm really talking about some intimate things. Nobody goes to shamans to ask the weather. It's always to talk about something super personal and to search for answer when you can't see the answer immediately, in today's world. So for me to have this very intimate encounter with him, maybe 30 minutes ago, with the spirit, because the spirit is a much older spirit. And to have him kind of sit beside me, and we're kind of like these two strangers, two young Mongolians, and so it was just the strangeness of this encounter that led me to imagine this love story between a 17-year-old shaman and a girl.
And what were some of the highlights and challenges along the way in making the film?
The challenge was firstly the weather. We shot in winter Ulaanbaatar, so it was minus 30 degrees at some point during the day, in the morning, so that was a super big challenge. And secondly, I have to say, I was a new mother. My baby was, 10 months when we started shooting. And I have to tell you, that is not easy. I do not recommend it to anybody who's looking to shoot a film and have an infant. Yeah, that was rough.
And what do you hope people take away from the film, in terms of its themes, messages, I guess a window into a completely different culture people might not know about?
It's basically, I don't know if it's a message, but I just hope that, people understand to have, these intimate relationships, not only with each other as peoples, but with people who have passed, that what we can call spirits or our relatives, and just to continue this intimacy, to learn from our history. It's also about dealing with trauma, all of these kind of contemporary topics about, dealing with our psychologies. I think it also connects to how we must deal with, I think, spirituality, about how we must speak to our spirits that come before us. And also the other thing is, of course, to have this intimate relationship with nature as well. And I think if you see the film, you'll see what I mean.
And what did it mean to you to have the film, I guess, in Venice? Now you're here, and you're going forward as, the Mongolian entry to the Oscars too.
Yes. Well, Marrakech especially, this was a childhood country, a childhood dream country to come. So for me to come here with my own film it's like a fairy tale come true, to be honest. I'm so happy to be in this continent, in this country, with this audience. It's, for me, really, really special, and I'm happy to represent Mongolia here, but also at the Oscars. I don't know how far that will go, but really happy to represent, yeah. Well, Mongolian cinema in Mongolia, historically speaking, is social realist, because, we were a communist country, and I must say, when we became capitalist and Mongolian cinema became hyper-focused on modernity, modern Mongolian life, but more like a modern Mongolian dream life, about like super rich lives, super fancy modern lives in, apartments that are super fancy. And so why I wanted to make this film is to show the normal Mongolian life. It's set in different parts of the city. It's really a story about the city, but it's really what Mongolians day to day live. And when it comes to international cinema, it's really, international idea about Mongolian cinema. It's really about horses and eagles and countrysides. And I'm also happy to break that kind of pattern as well, because it's a film that's set in Ulaanbaatar city, and really a normal parts of Ulaanbaatar city, and it really shows how we are transitioning in the past 20, 30 years. And yeah, it's in the way that, you know, I had to study a lot. I had to really look for for me, it's like how to make a film. It's not just become a filmmaker. It's about how to make a film. And to be honest, I never thought I would actually make one. So I feel like still I can't come to the reality that I'm here with the film, because it's almost it's something that you hope for and you try not to tell people, or even to myself to admit, you know, somehow someday it could happen, but it did. So yeah.